I'll go in a second, don't worry. But I wanted to actually ask about your time at Media Molecule, actually.
Yeah.
Because obviously you've gone from Sony to there. I mean, and you said that Media Molecule, they knew what they were aiming towards. They knew what they were doing. I
Yeah,
mean, when
definitely.
you went from Sony to Media Molecule, were the ideas of Tearaway and Little Big Planet already in the talks when you were there, or were they after you joined?
Oh yeah, Tearaway. No, that
After, but
wasn't a glint in anyone's eyes at that point.
Okay.
I mean, I can talk about that, but the genesis of that project. But Little Big Planet had already been announced at the point I joined them, so it was announced at GDC in March 2007, and I joined them at the end of May. So basically, I actually seen a job ad. I was looking to leave Sony. I was actually trying to get a job back up in Scotland because that's where my wife and I were having a long distance relationship.
Yeah.
So it was like crazy. I was trying to get a job back up there, and it wasn't happening. There weren't that many jobs available. And so yeah, I wasn't desperate to get out of Sony particularly, but I just wanted to get back to Scotland. And I'd seen, looking for jobs, I'd seen the Media Molecule job, but they were nobody knew who they were at that point. They had a cool looking website.
Yeah.
But I didn't know any of the people. I knew some of the games they'd worked on, but I didn't know them. So they were just like some people on the internet. And so I just, ignored it. And I was trying to get back to Scotland. But then Little Big Planet was announced, and I just thought it was amazing. And also I just knew what that they needed and what it needed to sound like, and was really inspired by it. So I applied, and yeah, we used to joke about my job interview because it was a very strange. It was like the best job interview anyone's ever done ever. And I'm not saying that because I'm like, hey, I'm great. It was a very strange experience for me too. It was like, it just went so well. It was ridiculous. And I was really excited to meet them, and having seen what they'd done. And, they didn't disappoint. They're like this crazy bunch of super talented people, technologists, artists. And yeah, they were just really nice. And yeah, I just really wanted that job, basically. And fortunately, Nicola, my partner, once I got it, agreed to come move down south, and the rest is history.
You're amazing.
We're married now, got kids and all the rest of it. So yeah, so it all worked out. But yeah, it was that period at Media Molecule was just amazing. Like I said, it was sort of a project just sort of ran itself in a way, which is a terrible thing to say because there was a lot of hard work, particularly people like Siobhan, the studio director, who's senior producer on that, and is the one who was making it all go seamlessly. But I absolutely took that for granted, and I just had it was a brilliant project, just couldn't have gone better, really.
Yeah.
And leaving Media Molecule was a difficult decision too, because it was a great place to be, but the company had changed a lot. When I joined, I was like employee number 15 or something, and the point I left, I think they were up to nearly 60 people.
Wow.
I think they're up at 100 now.
Wow.
So yeah, they got a lot bigger. So it changed a bit. And I think the other thing, which is that because Dreams is an amazing project too, and I actually worked on that for 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
Believe it or not, because it was because it started at the same time as Tearaway. So yeah, so I didn't talk about Tearaway. I mean, Tearaway was basically intended to be a bit of a holding pen for talent within the studio, because we finished up in Little Big Planet 2. We decided we didn't want to do Little Big Planet games anymore, so we sort of handed that off to XDev, our publishing partner at Sony, and to Sumo, and who made Little Big Planet 3 and did the most recent Sackboy's Big Adventure game for PlayStation 4 and 5. And so yeah, we were basically moving on to new things, and it didn't make sense to have the whole team, probably about 30 people at that point, to just all be working on Dreams, because it was like, you have to understand, there was nothing.
Yeah,
we're literally starting from zero, so you can't just have a full team of people like working on nothing. So Tearaway had started a bit before Dreams, kinda sort of ramping up for a few months, and then about half the company was working on Tearaway, and so I was the only person in the company working on both projects. It's just a weird thing that happened. Audio is just like treated differently to everything else. And I was trying to hire someone actually to work on Tearaway so I could just focus full time on Dreams, and struggled with that. Hiring is a whole
Yeah, I
whole
can
other
imagine. Yeah.
kettle of fish, which is something like, again, that was something I was learning the whole time I was at Media Molecules, hiring how to be a manager and stuff. And it's not something I particularly enjoy or am very good at, I don't think, because I'm very much interested in like hands-on making stuff. So anyway, I was on Tearaway and Dreams, and Dreams was just in kind of like this blue sky mode for the first few years, just a whole bunch of different experiments going on, which was great, fun to be part of. But it kind of wasn't. There was stuff happening, but it wasn't like right. Dreams like mission was like just to, you can create anything,
Yeah.
right? So that's like so high level that it's like, even though we're making progress, it wasn't like coming together. It was just a bunch of stuff that was all exploring making anything.
Yeah.
And all the graphics technology was coming together, and I was like doing like audio technology development basically. I was working on Tearaway, and then it got to the point where actually Dreams had been in development for like 2.5 years, and it got to the point where Sony were starting to ask questions like, "Hey, how's it going in Dreams, everybody?"
Yeah.
and they didn't have much to show, to be honest. So that made Tearaway really important, because I think Siobhan in particular realized that Tearaway needed to sort of deliver another like Media Molecule hit for Sony, so that it could take the pressure off Dreams, because it needed a bit more time to bake, basically. And subsequently went on to be like a 9-year project. So it was like
9 years.
Yeah. So this is back in 2011, basically.
Wow.
So 10 years ago. Well, that's when it started. So I'm talking about 2013 time period. And so anyway, I came off of Dreams, and Siobhan came off of Dreams to focus on Tearaway full time. And so Tearaway was a difficult project too. It was a little bit lost in the weeds, but Siobhan again and Rex and Dave Smith all went off site for a few days to just like, because it was this crazy like GPS location based thing. It was like papercraft Pokemon Go before. It was because we were trying to use all the different features on the Vita, and so it was a bit of a mess. There was just too much stuff. They went off site and like boiled it down to like, what is this? What are we trying to make? And then we had a game jam to like focus on that stuff. And we showed the results of that to Shuhei Yoshida, and he was like, "This is great, right? You're going to announce this at Gamescom in 6 weeks." So we had to like go from like this like R&D game jammy, slightly troubled project to like announcing the game. And so we had to get our shit together basically. And then from then until we shipped it, it was like 6 to 9 months or something like that. So we basically made that game in that period. There was a bunch of technology and there was a bunch of ideas and stuff, but there was not like there was any levels. It was like that all came together very quickly, and the music was done in about 3 months too. So yeah, there's loads more I could talk about in that project, but that was just like a real focus. And then so I moved after we shipped that. Tearaway Unfolded, which was a PS4 version, was in development. I came off of Tearaway and I'd hired some people who were really good at that point, Ed Hargrave, and freelancer Todd Baker was in the mix too. And they were basically, I kind of wasn't involved in the sound design on Tearaway Unfolded. I was lead sound designer on Tearaway and co-composer in that. But I was just really the co-composer and hands-off audio director on Tearaway Unfolded. Ed and Todd really handled the sound design on that thing completely. And it was a weird like sequel stroke expanded version of the original game, so it didn't need me basically. But I was on Dreams, and that was the thing, was like Dreams was it was kind of technology and tools development more than it was game development. So I wasn't really enjoying that, and I really enjoyed Tearaway. It was a difficult project and it was hard work, but I really enjoyed it, and I was involved in things outside of audio too, like wrote the voice script for that with Rex, and then I came up with the name Tearaway. It was just one of many names that other people came up with too, but mine was the one that was chosen. So I'm really proud of like my contributions towards the IP outside of the sound and music too. But that was the thing on Dreams, was it wasn't really game development, and I didn't enjoy it, and the company was getting bigger, and it was very clear that I was going to have to grow the audio department to support the vision of Dreams, and I didn't really find that very attractive. So just sort of rather painfully came to the conclusion of the course of over a year that I just didn't this is not what I wanted to do, which was really hard because I loved Media Molecule, really proud of everything that the company had done, and I was, you know, a big part of that. So it was just a bit awkward. It was like I just kind of wished it hadn't gone that way, so I could have stayed doing what I loved there. But it's just, you know, sometimes you just have to accept that it's not for you. So yeah, I made a difficult decision to leave. But on the plus side, fortunately, so I decided to go freelance is the other thing, which is I just didn't really fancy working in house because Media Molecule is such a great place to work. I just didn't really think there was anywhere else in the UK that I wanted to go. I would have probably joined a startup and done something from scratch, but no opportunity like that presented itself. So yeah, I decided I would go freelance and see what fish I could catch in that net. Unfortunately, that's all worked out. So I'm really pleased that it did. But yeah, that's a potted history of Media Molecule.
Lovely.